What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna get the Facebook going and we'll begin. What's going on Facebook and what's going on YouTube? Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. I have the Facebook on my phone. I have the YouTube on my computer. I got the double stream as always. And I want to talk about two stories. I'll probably hang out for a little bit, answer some questions, and then I'm going to get back to work and edit a new video, which I want to have out for you in the morning. And the two stories of the day I want to talk about. The first one is the Cuomo drama seems to be getting too big to ignore, which is pretty crazy because last year was when it was really happening as far as the nursing home stuff, and they're just finding it out after essentially just brushing over it, I think, because he's a Democrat. And even Fauci was like, New York is the model for the rest of the country, whatever. We're going to talk about that. And then the second thing I want to talk about is how they're kind of setting everybody up to be labeled terrorists. I saw them doing this a few years ago with linguistic ways of kind of confusing people with language and also just kind of broadening the brush of what they consider to be terroristic activity. And lo and behold, the 6th happens. It's a total setup. A lot of people fall for it or get dragged into it by mistake. And now they're just broadening. And they have this circus that seems to be never ending. We can't talk about the stimulus bill. We can't seem to talk about the lockdowns, the quarantines. We can't have an alternate opinion on what's going on at all. But it seems like the Trump saga just never ends, and it's getting dragged out for another, 3 years now. So we're going to talk about that, some things that I thought were interesting. As everybody's getting in, I'm going to drink my coffee. I need a little bit of boost. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. People say, it's not good for you. I'm like, listen, it's good for me. It feels good. So that it is what it is. But thank you guys for being here. And my live stream is sponsored by two of my own things. It's not really a sponsor. I just feel like saying that. And that's t.me/dreamrarechat and patreon.com/raretalk. Check out those two links. t.me/dreamrarechat. It's free. It's a way to just get you guys my new videos on Telegram. I like it to get around censorship because I think Facebook's kind of tinkering. I almost said tinkling, which is the wrong word, but tinkering with me a little bit. I think certain posts, they seem to be kind of, covering up. Other ones, they let free fly, but it is what it is. Let's see who's here. What's up, Bob? What's up, Tony? What's up, Kimberly? What's up, Jordan? Donna, what's up, Sarasota? Monica, what's going on? I saw the most savage sponsor yesterday. I'm going to try to say this without getting censored, but I was watching the Ben Shapiro, Gina Carano interview. First of all, Gina, I know she watches my channel as well. And she came off super nice, super kind, super thoughtful. And Shapiro's doing his advertisements during the speech. And he does like a segue. He's like, we're going to talk about the post where you made he said, like, I got to think of it. He's like, we're going to talk about the post you talked about the Jewish and Nazi and made a Holocaust comparison. But first, let me talk about he used the Holocaust as a transition to sell bed sheets or something. I just thought it was like such a savage move. I was like, bro, his ad. I mean, but listen, he's got to make money. I get it. I just thought like him bringing up such a serious topic and then transitioning to like selling beds was I just started cracking up hysterically. But I'm trying to like kindly say that without getting like censored because I know they'll try to be like, he's saying this, he's saying that. Thank you, Johnny, for the super chat. All right. First story I want to talk about while everybody's getting in. Hold on. I need some more coffee. I got these new vanilla nut beans. Pretty good. And I'll have a video out in the morning. So thank you guys. I know a lot of you like the ones you could share and watch shorter. And then some people like the longer live streams. But first thing I want to talk about is Governor Cuomo seems like he's getting into too much trouble, to handle media-wise. All last year, we were trying to talk about the nursing home crisis because I thought it was strange, and so did a lot of people. Unfortunately, mostly only conservatives seem to care about it for some reason. But, Governor Cuomo, a lot of these liberal states started passing orders of some sort to put COVID-19 infected patients into nursing homes. And I'm thinking to myself, why would they do that? Why would you put COVID-19 infected patients into nursing homes? It's going to kill people and slow the spread. But the media didn't seem to care. And then this year, the cover-up came out. I think one of his aides spilled the beans by mistake or on purpose in a chat. And that opened the wormhole. The media started covering it. And then people just started like Me Tooing him left and right. Guys saying he's abusive. Women saying, It's not funny, but it just says Associated Press former aide says Cuomo kissed her, suggested strip poker. So he's getting kind of dragged into this Me Too movement. And, I like to be fair. When I hear things like Aziz Ansari did something, like my first instinct, unfortunately, I wish it was because, rape is real, human trafficking is real, women getting abused is real. It happens millions of times a day. But a lot of these celebrities and politicians seem to use it for their political advantage. So I'm I don't just believe every headline. I'm like, let me read the story about Aziz Ansari because, I want to see if what you're saying makes sense. So with Cuomo, I'm going to give him the same benefit of the doubt because I'm a fair person, unlike them. But let's see what they're talking about. My guess, obviously I don't know. I'll let it play out. My guess is he probably is pretty tyrannical. I think these Democrats have it way easier than Republicans in the sense of the entire mainstream media is like a cover-up operation. If Trump takes a step on like a red or a black block on the street, they'll be like, Trump steps on a black block. It reminds me of slavery. They'll say stuff like that. And then Obama could bomb Libya or something. And they'll be like, it's just so cool how he wears like Nike sneakers or whatever. So the double standards are ridiculous. I'm going to just show you real quick. This is from Ralph Northam's yearbook. I'm just going to put this up. It's like a joke or something he was doing for, I don't know if it was for Thanksgiving, but it's like blackface in a KKK outfit. This is Ralph Northam's yearbook picture, and he's still in office. I'm not saying to cancel him. I'm just saying if that was a Republican, if that was Trump, if that was literally anybody in the right wing, they would have been immediately fired. There'd probably be 3 years of investigation into them. There'd probably be a whole 5-year spectacle in Congress. But when it's Ralph Northam who dresses up in KKK and blackface as a joke or something, it's like, oh, forgive him. It's fine. It's like, I'm just not for double standards. It's like, what? I'm more concerned, to be honest. Obviously, that's, not a smart idea at all. But I'm more concerned, like, okay, if someone smiles in my face and then bombs 8 countries and steals my money, and then somebody's just rude or something, I prefer the rude person to the person who's sneaky. That's like Malcolm X used to say, the liberals are the most dangerous thing in the Western Hemisphere, or because they smile and then they're always like sneaking around. That's what Malcolm X said. So it's like, I'm not saying to cancel him, but I know for a fact that Republicans would be canceled for that, at least scrutinize him. It's like brush over the shoulder. Cuomo does this. The double standards are ridiculous, and it's becoming very apparent. So hopefully more people get onto that. And it's interesting to see the media turn against Cuomo and the Democrats start to turn against him without spending too much time. We'll see how it plays out. This is the interesting part about the progressives and the Democrats. The progressives and the Democrat establishment, they don't really like each other. And it's an interesting relationship because you have the far left progressives who they want socialism and communism. They won't say it, but that's what they want. They want universal health care. They want, in some ways, to end the wars, which I agree with. But, they want the Democrat establishment to go further left. And I think what they don't understand is the Democrat establishment will go further left because if you really go further left into socialism and communism, it's more government control, more government money, more government power, total consolidation of power, money, communication. So that's not a threat to Jeff Bezos. At a certain point, the corporations and the government just mesh, and that's what's already happened. Apple, Google, Amazon, they're all in on it together. They're all playing Black Lives Matter role play. They're all doing climate change. Why do they care? Do they love the planet so much? Do they really care about Black people? I don't think so. I think it's a good social, diversion to just distract people from them just taking everything. And we'll get into more of that later with the lockdowns. Yeah, of course. Social distancing, that's great. Don't go around people with COVID or the flu, obviously. But what they're really doing is destroying physical businesses, and digital businesses are taking over. So anything physical, people who sold electronics, people who have restaurants, all that's being wiped away. All that's being crushed. And these digital companies are taking over and gaining. And at a certain point, when everything's digital and nothing's physical, first of all, it's going to be hard to tell what's real or not with like AI. It's already happening now. Zoom calls, fake fans. I'm watching a sports game. Everyone's going crazy because Luka Doncic hit a 3-pointer, but it's like no one's even in the stadium. It's all fake. So, not only that, but they're consolidating power. And then it's like a click of a button and they could take everything from us. So we'll see what happens there. But the progressives are like Me Too and Cuomo, and they don't like his power stuff. So I don't really know what's going on there. Second thing I want to talk about real quick is, I have a few questions real quick, and maybe you guys can answer that. I'm not going to harp on it too much, but when the Republicans controlled the Senate, House, and presidency, why did the Mueller report dominate? It was all about the Mueller report. They were able to investigate. And now that they lost all, House, Senate, and presidency, now it's turning into their show. It's like no matter whether they win or lose, they seem to be able to control both sides of politics. So I'm going to get a sip of water real quick. So I don't understand why they were allowed to get away with that then. And now the big scheme is they're trying to label everybody terrorist. Everybody is a domestic terrorist. Everybody is this. They've been doing it for years. I'm just going to read real quick. This is my tweet from 2019. I figured this out a couple of years ago. I saw them doing it in the press. It says, just in this last week, mainstream media put out an article saying conspiracy theorists could be added to the domestic terrorist list. The same liars who call moderate Black and Hispanic libertarians white supremacists are pushing this. I said, this is 2 years ago. I said, they want to label everyone terrorists. And a lot of people on the left or right figured this stuff out with the Patriot Act. It was like 9/11, Bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, Patriot Act. We got to go for the terrorists. And a lot of lefties said back then, well, this could, first of all, you could go for innocent Muslim people and start scapegoating them. But also, at a certain point, you could just label everybody a terrorist. And now if they can label you a terrorist, now they could spy on you, take away your freedom, take away your liberty. So we saw this coming for decades, and I saw this coming a couple of years ago. They're trying to call us terrorists. They're trying to call libertarians, patriots, non-violent taxpayers who just literally disagree with the media. And the 6th was the perfect event to do all this stuff. It was a setup. I don't know, and this is, maybe you could help me out, but to me, just the biggest setup ever. And I'll read another tweet because I wrote this down. I said, does anybody find it odd that the anonymous poster calling themselves Q told MAGA a storm was coming, like programming them, storm is coming, a storm is coming for 4 years. And then they disappeared when people stormed the Capitol and set the foundation to give the entire Patriot movement the label of domestic terrorists. And now the establishment has the excuse to basically investigate, interrogate millions of people as a terrorist. So this movement came along and said, trust me, trust the plan. We got it all covered out. Storm. And then a lot of people are like, yeah, the cat storm. And then you got set up. It's like Trump set you up, Q set you up. I don't know if they purposely did it or not. I don't know who that even is, but it's like, it's so clear to me they needed an event to justify what they were already going to do. And the 6th was the perfect event to do that. And now they have the justification, or they think they have the justification, to spy, connect, interrogate, and arrest lots of people under the guise that they're domestic terrorists. And, I just find it almost impossible to think that this randomly happened. I find it almost impossible to think that, they're not going to drag this out for 2 or 3 years. So it's like, this is the question I'm asking people, because I see a lot of people falling into the circus of it, left versus right, Trump versus anti-Trump. I get it. I was there with you. I've done a lot of it myself. I get one side seems way better. One side seems way worse. And, good and evil, left and right. I get it. I've done it. I've been there on the front lines with you. Not literally the front lines. I know then they're going to be like, he said front lines. It's like, no, I'm just talking metaphorically. But anyway, if you really look at what's going on, when Republicans controlled everything, how come they did nothing? They didn't fight big tech. They didn't seem to be able to combat the Mueller report narrative. It's like they get to do, you get what I'm saying? Something's not quite adding up in the sense of, okay, you had everything for 2 years and you still got investigated. Then you lose everything. And then your supporters got investigated. It's like something's not working. Something along. Trump was there for 4 years. Okay, I liked him. I supported him. And then during the lockdowns, I see him put Fauci on television for a month. And then I see him say, well, look at the imperial model. We should lock down. And then I see him start turning into a big pharma salesman and just rushing Operation Warp Speed. And I'm starting to question it. And people are getting mad at me. And I'm watching all this happening. And I even told people in December, I was like, I'm not going to the 6th. I don't want to go because Trump, something seems off about him. He doesn't seem the same as he used to be. He doesn't seem loose. He seems like he's just Operation Warp Speed, Moderna. It's like if I wanted to hear about Moderna, I'd just watch Bill Gates' YouTube channel. I know a lot about Moderna because I listen to Moderna and Bill Gates and other. So it's like Trump's turning into Bill Gates. And I'm like, something feels wrong about the 6th. We're going. And then everyone goes and then they get set up. And now they're calling everybody domestic terrorists. And it's turning into like a communist gulag style system where now millions of people can be tied to an event that's considered domestic terrorism. I just don't think it's coincidental. I'm sorry. But I'm going to show you two things because a lot of people, I don't want to seem like a hater because I'm not. I like these people. But people keep saying, Anomaly, what about the Patriot Party? And I told people, it's going to be the same trap that we just fell in, rebranded, same thing. And I'm going to show you two front runners in the Patriot Party. The new conservatives were so much different than the old conservatives. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Mark Levin, who I like both of, but I'm just going to show you. Here's one picture she tweeted out today. I don't know if you can see on YouTube, you can see on Facebook, it's backwards, but you see them all wearing masks. Her mask says America First, and their mask says Standing with MTG. And she says, I have the best staff on Capitol Hill. It's like, this is the best we can do. I understand you have to wear a mask indoors or whatever, but like this photo op, no offense, but your aides look like slaves. They're wearing like a submissive mask. Like, I stand with her. It's like, you guys aren't even big enough patriots to fight any of the corruption going on. You've done, Trump included, wasn't able to really counter the communist, socialist, I don't know what you want to really call it. I would call it like a medical, tyrannical, authoritarian, really takeover digitally, just destroying physical businesses. And this is the best you could. This is the Patriot Party. Look, I wear a mask more patriotically than Democrats. Like, cool. Wow. Cool photo shoot. I'm sure you'll get millions of dollars of fundraising. And then you have Mark Levin right here, who I also really like. I do like Mark Levin as well. But if you could read this on YouTube, you probably can. I'll just read it for you. This was him on Parler that just came back up. He said, if Trump didn't launch Operation Warp Speed, we'd be waiting years for a vaccine. So he's shilling for Operation Warp Speed too. Thank goodness Trump, launched Operation Warp Speed, or else we'd be waiting years for a vaccine. I wish we were waiting years for a vaccine. I would love to wait years for a vaccine because never has a vaccine been rushed this fast to the public. I think it's a travesty, especially with the history of a lot of these companies. Moderna's brand new. They didn't even really have a product on the market before this. But, the pharmacy industry, if you watch commercials and products and you know anything about how Congress passed a bill or, Reagan signed a bill to make it so they have no liability, I don't think it's a good thing that Trump rushed it. So this is the Patriot Party, big pharma shilling, bragging about Trump rush. Oh, thank goodness he has a vaccine here. Oh yeah, thank goodness. So now in Israel, they're starting a two-tiered system of like slave versus free human. And they're pushing the vaccine passport. The World Economic Forum is going to do it. And of course, the Democrats are going to do it. And it's already started. I'm already getting messages saying, hey, Anomaly, I don't know who to turn to, but I like you. I'm getting they're telling me either get the vaccine or you're losing your job. So this is already being forced on American citizens. We knew it was going to be. We knew they were going to try to create a two-tiered society. You can't go to Disney. You can't go here. And they haven't done it yet, but they're going to. And I told people this a year ago, I'm like, Trump rushing this vaccine is like lobbing Fauci, and then Fauci is going to dunk it in our face, and everybody's going to say, oh no, Anomaly, Trump didn't do it. He just wanted to please the left. He just wanted to open up the economy. He was just, it's like, I don't care why. I'm not blaming him completely, but it's like, it's equivalent to him lobbying, Biden and Fauci jamming it in our face, and him acting. So it's like, if this is the Patriot Party, Marjorie Taylor Greene bragging about muzzling her staff and saying, look how cool they look. Stand with MTG. Cool. And Mark Levin being like, Operation Warp Speed is the greatest thing ever. Thank God. It's like, yeah, this is why I don't care about politics that much anymore. It's all a show. It's all a show. The guy that I thought had a trick up his sleeve, I gave Trump the benefit of the doubt for 4 years because I'm like, listen, I'm reasonable. He revolutionized the culture. He made tens of millions of people, including myself, realize something that we've never seen before. He called out the media. He really was way better at as far as ending wars. He did a really good job, and I think he deserves credit for everything he did. But then it's like we're all waiting for this big finale. You have the Q liars who are telling everybody that it's all been set in stone and it was written and it's coming any day now. Those people dangling a carrot in front of MAGA's face, and they shifted the psychology of MAGA because once they injected that, everybody just started being like, Trump's playing 50,000 dimensional chess all the time. He never makes no mistakes. And then we're all waiting for a big finale. And the big finale is these two groups, Trump and them, lure everybody to the Capitol, General Flynn, Lynn Wood, rile everybody up, and then everybody gets set up, and now you're being called domestic terrorists. So it's like, to me, it's starting to seem like the Truman Show. I don't know if you guys seen the Truman Show, but it's like, it's all staged. The whole thing is staged, where I'm not saying everything is, but it's like, okay, Mark Levin's selling Operation Warp Speed. Marjorie Taylor Greene is trying to brand masks as patriotic. Trump set his own supporters up at the Capitol and rushed Operation Warp Speed faster than Bill Gates even wanted to, and pushed it faster through FDA approval than like even Bill Gates was lobbying for. So why am I supposed to? What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and watch Congress on television and be like, oh man, they're really fighting them hard today. Oh yeah, they're. Oh man, Josh Hawley really gave it to him today, man. I mean, when he talked to Jack Dorsey, I mean, wow, that was like, whoa, he really stuck it to him. What about the fact that they had power for 2 years and did nothing? Nothing. They all got investigated and interrogated from 2016 to 2018 with the Mueller report. So when they're in power, they do nothing. When they're out of power, they do nothing. And it's just one big circus for people who think that Trump is going to come back or something and save their world. I just don't see it. I have no interest in the Patriot Party. I have no interest in these MAGA grifters. And I'm not calling everyone a grifter. Listen, everybody's got to make money. Somebody's got to run for office. Like there's good people out there. But, in my opinion, you run again. Oh, Maxine Waters. Oh, I'm going to win. You just raised tens of millions of dollars and then you get blown out of the water and you lose by Maxine Waters to 40 points. It's like, I'm running against Adam Kinzinger. Oh my God, finally someone's running against Adam Kinzinger. Yeah, that's awesome. I hope she wins, the new lady. But it's like, I don't know. To me, it just seems like a big circus. It's just like one big money sucker. They don't seem to be accomplishing that much. But listen, someone's got to run for office. So I'm not trying to knock it. Maybe these people are awesome. Maybe they're going to pass a bill that makes my life better. I don't know. But to me, as a citizen, as a human who comes here and tells you how I feel, I'm just not impressed by any of it. I just feel like they're dragging this out for months. And when push came to shove, our country got locked down. When push came to shove, our leader made a horrible decision and told everybody to come to an event that would then be used against us. And I'm not saying it's his fault. I don't think technically, I don't think he should be charged with insurrection or any of that. I don't think 99% of the people there even knew it was going on. I've defended Trump harder than he's defended himself on this situation. I made a whole video about it. But as a leader, what was he doing? I don't understand what he thought was going to happen. I don't think he knew that was going to happen, but what's the point? I don't even like you're blaming Pence. They think Pence is happening. It's a mess. It's all just a joke. It's just a big circus where they're all just pretending. And I'm just not interested. And my question is, if they're doing this for a year now, what happened from 2016 to 2018? How come we couldn't get some sort of investigation or something going on? Like, I don't get it. And I see what they're doing is they're labeling everybody terrorists. And as soon as you get labeled a domestic terrorist, you lose your freedom, you lose your right. You can be probably wiretapped and spied on. And I'm guessing I'm being spied on. And I'm guessing a lot of Trump supporters are being spied on because once they label you a terrorist, they can do that. So that's what they did. That gave them the justification to do it. They're going to drag this out and try to do some communist style, a suppression of the opposition political party because Trump blew it and just set everybody up and then just pardoned a bunch of Israeli spies and shills and, random Democrats. And he didn't even pardon Joe Exotic. It's like, if you're going to pardon random people, at least let my boy Joe Exotic free. I feel like he got set up as well. But anyway, the point I'm getting to is I'm just not that interested in the circusry of it. And I had something else to say. I was trying to think about it with the them labeling people domestic terrorists. They play this game with linguistics and move the goalposts. I'll give you an example because I saw 2 years ago they said white nationalists are labeled a terrorist group, and there are bad people out there that call themselves the white nationalists and they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. But most people linguistically don't understand that. For instance, the word nationalist, I'll just Google it for you. I'm talking about the manipulation of language to confuse people into basically calling themselves a terrorist. The word nationalist means it's a noun, a person who strongly identifies with their own nation and vigorously supports its interests. So most people who are conservative would consider themselves nationalists. I like my country. I support it. So I'm a nationalist. You have black nationalists, Hispanic nationalists. People say, I'm a black nationalist. I'm proud of my country. I love America. I'm waving. So if you say I'm a white one, then you're technically now a terrorist. And I told people this 2 years ago. It's like most people who say that, they don't realize what they're saying. They think they're just like, I'm a nationalist and this is my skin color. It's like, no. There's a group called the white nationalists and the FBI has labeled them domestic terrorists. So if you unknowingly start calling yourself that, you now could technically be labeled a terrorist and they could start spying on you and taking away your personal liberty, and all sorts of crazy stuff. And they've already done that anyway, because once they have an in, then they can do it. And they tried to 2 years ago say conspiracy theorists are domestic terrorists. And I told people this is what they're doing. And then all the Q, no offense, but these Q dummies, they're so sloppy with their work. Human trafficking is real, yes, but that doesn't mean that Trump's in a time machine and he's going to come back on March 5th and save the world. It's like, no, you guys are setting everyone else up. They're using you to say, look, conspiracy theory. Some of it's real, some of it's not. But here's a conspiracy theory. These people did, January 6th or whatever. So now they're saying these people are terrorists, and anybody who communicates with them are terrorists. So they've brought in the brush now to call everybody a terrorist. And one of the big deceptions, just to tell you how they use MAGA influencers and stuff to mislead people. There's a lot of people, I'm not going to name names because I don't even pay attention to these people anymore. They annoy me. But they're telling people Trump's going to come back on March 4th or whenever the date is. They're saying Trump's going to be inaugurated in a secret inauguration. They're pushing the hoax that Trump is still the president. They're telling everybody Trump is still the president. He's coming back on March 4th. And the military's there to fight the deep state. You have people like Steve Piesnik say, oh, the military's going to arrest Biden. They're pushing all these hoaxes on MAGA. But why it's really twisted is the real reason that the military is most likely there is to not only protect Congress, but to paint this picture of Congress is the innocent victims, which we know that's not true. The military is there to protect Congress from the people outside. Who are the people outside? The Q people, Trump supporters, nationalists, whatever you want to say, just Trump supporters in general. They're broadening that brush to be everybody. So they're setting the stage for, we need to protect Congress from domestic terrorists. And now the reason that they're keeping the military there, if you read some of their articles, is they're pointing to these Q accounts that are saying Trump's coming back on the 4th. So since the 6th happened, I'm not blaming everybody, but the 6th happened and that was a mess. Now they're saying, well, we have reason to believe that there's going to be another Capitol insurrection on the 4th or whenever the day on the march that the Q people. So they're using the Q movement to call everybody terrorists, to entrap everybody, to censor everybody. And now they're using it to keep the military presence there. And it's the opposite of what they're saying. They're saying the military's in control, Trump's the president, and the military's there for us. But the reality is the military is there to protect Congress, and they can keeping them there because these Q accounts won't stop lying to people, and they're getting millions of views, and it's become the big, because people love Trump, so they don't want to believe that Trump's not in office. It's the same way with the Mueller report. The Mueller report was always exaggerated by the mainstream media. I knew it. A lot of left-wingers knew it, but most didn't. Why? Because they hate Trump so much. They wanted to believe that Trump was going to be gone within a year. And it's the same thing they're doing to the right wing, except they're using these movements, and it's worse because they're way more aggressive than Trump was. So they point to them and say, they're like, oh, we like Trump, so we're just going to make up theories that he's going to stay. No, they're using that to keep the military there. And this whole thing's being played out to arrest people and to entrap people and to spy on people. And like I said, I don't know for sure, but I can almost guarantee that I'm probably being spied on because they're trying to tie me to the insurrection that I didn't go to, that I didn't attend, that I didn't support, that, first of all, no one even knew it was going to be an insurrection. Everybody just thought it was going to be a protest for Trump and listen to him speak, but they're trying to tie me to that. So that's how they work. Well, this happened. This person talked to this person talked to this person watched that channel. They're going after everybody now. All because of the foolishness of, first of all, your leader, Donald Trump, who told everyone to go there and really didn't have a plan. It's not his fault that people went inside, but why would you bring people there and tell everybody that Mike Pence is going to overturn the election? Of course, Mike Pence is not going to overturn the election. What can he do? Send the electorates back to the people who just sent him in? The VP can't change the vote. They can only do something that has not been done in hundreds of years and send it back. But what's the point when the people just sent it there? It's all, they're scamming you. And I said it a month ago and everyone got mad at me because they wanted Trump to win. The people in Pennsylvania that are like, oh, we're going to change our vote. They're just scammers because they're afraid to commit to either side because they're getting death threats from the left wing, probably the right wing screaming at them. So as soon as they cash in their electorates or whatever they do, oh yeah, we're going to overturn them. If Pence sends it, you just sent him in. Why would he send them back when you just sent him in? They played you like a fool. And I saw them. I could find tweets if you want where I told people don't go on the 6th. Or I said, good luck if you go. I wish you luck and safety and whatever. But I said, I'm not going. I'll read one from December. Get mad at me if you want, but this aged a lot better than other people's. I said on January 6th, you're playing yourself if you march in DC to pretend like Trump's Abraham Lincoln. He's been abysmal this year and should be considered part of the swamp establishment at this point. Selling vaccines, lockdowns, and socialist stimulus plans, betrayal. I said they're going to drag this out past January. Why not? It's a great way to prevent the anti-lockdown movement while Republicans sell vaccines. I didn't know it was going to be as bad as it was, but I'm like, I don't get what the plan is. You're going to go there and everybody thinks that Trump has a secret plan and he doesn't have a plan. It's not your fault that everybody did all the stupid stuff, but they're using it. Someone said, these movements I don't know how they started. I don't know who they are. There's a lot of good people in them, but it's all backwards now. So, just a heads up, because that's the new plan. And I think a lot of people who are following my channel know this now, but this is going to be the scoop for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, the same way the Mueller report, the insurrection happened. It's an insurrection. Every Trump supporter enabled it. Every Trump supporter incited it. These people are terrorists. And now agencies like the FBI are saying, okay, we got to get rid of this terrorism problem. And all these high level people are like, listen, libertarians, they're naming everything. They're like, listen, it's these people. We got to go. So the whole system is working against not just literal terrorists, which would be fine, but broadening that scope of what it means. And if you read some of the bills that they've passed in the past, and they're probably going to pass again, it's given them basically the right to do things that are not, normally constitutional, because, that's the threat and that's how they do everything. But I mean, I sound like a broken record. It's like, okay, we can't pass this legislation. Well, let's just wait till a tragedy happens. And once a tragedy happens, people will be so scared, they'll have to pass it. And it even worked with Trump. Trump is this great Second Amendment person, right? But as soon as there was a tragedy that involved a gun, Trump folded like a lawn chair, just like all the other politicians. I'm not blaming him, and I don't want to sound super anti-Trump, because I'm not. I actually like the guy. I voted for him. But this idea that he's like a messiah, he didn't protect the First Amendment, he didn't protect the Second Amendment, and he folds like a lawn chair whenever there's a tragedy, just like every other politician, whether it be the COVID, whether it be a shooting, whether it be a speech bill that he passes for his big donors. Like I watched it all happen over the last 3 years. And I just feel like, there needs to be some sort of shift, because the Mark Levin selling Operation Warp Speed, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's the new, bad girl on campus and everybody loves her. That's cool. And then she's like taking pictures with her staff wearing muzzles. Like, I'm not blaming her. I get it. You got to wear a mask sometimes, but it's like, look how badass. That's not badass. What would be badass is if our country wasn't being like swallowed alive by, regulations and rules and what I would consider human slavery at this point. I mean, if everybody had to do it, it's one thing, but when Amazon and Costco and, all these digital companies are reorganizing and making a killing when physical businesses are going under, this is like an authoritarian wet dream. So I don't understand where people are going. And I'll read some comments in a second, but it's like people are like, Trump's going to run in 2024. I would vote for Candace Owens before I voted for Trump. I would vote for Ron DeSantis before I voted for Trump. I would vote for Rand Paul before I voted for Trump. I gave him 4 years. I supported him. I probably did more to help his campaign than most influencers, because I thought he was doing a good job and I thought the media was lying. And it's true. I stand by what I said. But it's like he had 4 years and it ended up in human slavery, Operation Warp Speed vaccine sales. I don't think Candace Owens would do Operation Warp Speed. I don't think Rand Paul would fold that easy to Fauci. I think Trump, put on a big show for everybody, and we're all waiting for a finale, and we got the finale. But instead of the storm is coming, said the QAnoners, yeah, a storm came. Trump supporters stormed the Capitol, and a bunch of agents and, left-wing insurgents and just a mixture of right and left-wing people, mostly right, but the storm happened, but the storm was to get us set up to be terrorists. So, I'm a positive person, but it's almost like a worst case scenario. Trump loses the election, Democrats win House, Senate, Congress. Trump sets his own supporters up to be labeled terrorists like 2 weeks before he leaves the office, pardons Democrats, Israeli spies, doesn't pardon anybody cool like Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, or Joe Exotic. Pardon Lil Wayne, that was kind of cool. But besides that, his pardon list sucked. And then he just skated out the back door. And now the bubble of his presence is still lingering over Congress, not in any way that's going to help us, only in the way of they're still fighting the boogeyman. And then instead of doing it just to his administration, they're doing it to his supporters. They've brought in the brush of persecution to pretty much everybody that supports him. And if it happened naturally, it's fine. But he walked into it. And so did Linwood, and so did all these people. So it's interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think. That's what I think. I appreciate you being here. And I'm just giving people a heads up because in order, in my opinion, to win, we have to take a step back sometimes. If we're always fighting left and right, defending, it's been 4 years and it's the same circus. I just see it going back. Oh, they're fighting for us in Congress. And I'm taking a step back and saying, okay, yeah, but what about when you had, I don't know. Something needs to change. And I think we need to take a step back, look at it, and demand a little bit more. Because if we get caught in the circus, I just don't see it working out at this point. But let me know what you guys think. I'm going to read some comments. I do think, too, I'll say this because I'm reading some comments. Someone said, how do we stop communism? How do we stop this? I really do think in many ways, Trump was amazing. He did a lot of good stuff, but also he's like a whirlwind. So when he's there, for the better or worse, there is no calm. And media is bad with this, worse than Trump. They're always just making a storm. When the storm calms in this country, you'll notice left-wingers and right-wingers start to get together. They say, what's up with this stimulus package? What's going on with Wall Street? And then there's another big storm. So I think in some way, I don't know the exact answer, but I believe that numbers on our side are actually bigger than they want to admit. And I think a lot of you guys know that. So for example, Australia, I think it was at the Australia Open, they finally had people in the stands and the lady starts talking. She says, listen, we want to, the Australian government's doing such a good job. We want to get everyone vaccinated. And everyone starts booing. And it's interesting because there's very few live events anymore. So when they do that live and there's actual human beings in the stadium, people boo them. So now they're creating this illusion. When I watch a Dallas Mavericks game to watch Luka Doncic play or whoever, I'm not even watching real fans. There are no real fans. It's all fake. It's fake staged voices. So isn't that interesting? I feel like they're creating a digital world where once it's all digital and not physical, they can not only take away what's real, but they can control everything. Now, they're pushing like every physical. Okay, you own a store that has physical you're probably getting destroyed. But if you're even me, I did okay last year because it's digital. Yeah, I'm a real person, but my work's digital. I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, I feel terrible for physical stores. They're wiping out the physical, transferring everything to digital. And once it's all digital, they could turn it on and off with a click. All right, read some comments. Someone said Yuri is so spot on. I'm going to say something about that, and then I'll read more. Thank you for the stars. Appreciate you guys. Yuri talked about one thing that stuck out to me was Yuri said, listen, if you guys don't know, I'll just give a quick brief. Yuri Bezmenov is a KGB agent who worked in India, defected to the Western world, and spilled the beans on what, communist Russia was doing to America, or KGB. And he said, they weren't just spying, they were planting seeds. Get movie makers, media sources. If we could pump Marxism into these things, we'll pump it into the heads of all Americans. And he said, one thing that stuck out to me from that interview, I mean, the whole thing is fantastic, but he said, at a certain point, it worked so well, we didn't even have to do it anymore. Like, it was Americans doing it to Americans. So now China, Russia, our competitors, they don't even really have to do that much, because the media is doing it. The media is like, oh, it's right. They've already done everything they can do to the media, to the education system. So Russia and China can sit back and we're destroying ourselves. It's similar, in my opinion, to what the Q thing did to the right wing. I think a lot of it was okay in the sense of talking about human trafficking. Like, I'm not trying to cover that up. That's real and underreported. But a lot of the other stuff, trust the plan, big drop coming, Trump has a secret plan, storm, the neurolinguistic storm is the cap, storm, trust the storm is, all of that planted seeds in the right wing to when the lockdown happened. I was trying to sound the alarm early and be like, guys, Trump's kind of doing it, but also whether it's his fault or not, I don't think this is sustainable. And some of the biggest opposition I got was from the Q people. They'll never admit it, but they were like, anomaly, you don't trust the plan, trust it. So they did the same thing that Yuri Bezmenov was talking about the communists did to the left wing, plant a bunch of seeds and then just leave it alone, and then they'll sabotage each other. The same thing's happening to the right wing. They planted these seeds in people's heads. Now you have all these influencers. They're probably not agents. They're probably just egotistical, naive, foolish, but I think a lot of it's ego, pushing this narrative to other Trump supporters. So now you have this like defect of people who the truth means nothing to them anymore. Up isn't up, down isn't down. If it happens, they take credit for it. If it doesn't happen, they just say, wait till March, wait till April, wait till June, wait till July. The vaccine's not really what Bill Gates, it's Trump's fighting him. It's like there's unlimited narratives. So I think, mind control could go both ways. And I think that's, pretty well known. It's like any smart regime in history that was trying to conquer another regime, you not only take care of your team, but you enter the other team and try to, deorganize them and also, I guess, confuse them and make them do things like the Capitol, which is actually working against you, and then push new narratives and new, like the March 4th. This is, if you take anything from what I said, the March 4th thing that they're talking about, the Q people are saying March 4th, Trump's going to come back. The military's on our side. It's the exact opposite of what's true. Trump's not going to be president. Biden is president. Trump's not coming back in March. And the military, although I think the military is good people, the military is not there to protect Trump or Trump supporters. The military is there to protect Congress and paint the narrative of Congress versus the terrorists. And the Q people are playing right into that narrative. So they're like, oh, the military's not leaving. Yeah, they're not leaving because you keep pushing the narrative that keeps them there. It's like mind control of the right wing. And these people are so egotistical that they just won't consider that they got played. But it's so obvious. I mean, that's something I've never heard someone say, but I think it's increasingly true. Someone said Coca-Cola try to be less white. I mean, every time I go in the sun, I try. I get darker and darker. At this point, I mean, you look at my skin tone, I look more dark skinned than Kamala. And that doesn't matter. I'm just saying, her racism towards me when she takes all my freedom away, and me being a darker American, seeing Kamala do that to me is very frustrating. And people like Sean King, who, don't have this tan, but yeah, it's messed up what Coca-Cola is doing. But that's what the Marxists and the left are doing. They're making white people out to be a boogeyman. And I think another takeaway that I've seen recently is someone said Anomaly needs to get laid. JK. Listen, folks, never mind. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to be professional and mature. But anyway, the media, like say Jake Tapper, we disagree on a lot, but he'll call out the Uyghurs or the Uyghurs. I don't know how you say it. And the Muslims in China. And Jake Tapper will say bad China. And then everyone will be like, wow, you know why Jake Tapper will do that? Because that same mentality they're pumping into the Uyghur women and the Uyghur women, it's the same mentality they're pumping into America. They're doing the same thing to American women of all ethnicities. But the difference is in China, the American liberal and conservatives, they call it genocidal. They say that it's, racist. They say all these things about what they're doing to the Uyghur women. And I think it's true. But they're doing that here. If you were to say those same words to what they're doing to Americans, they would call you a conspiracy theorist, or they would call you far right. So the reason that they'll point it out in China, which is fine, is because it distracts from the fact that they're doing the same thing here. And they'll always do this. That's why it's like China, Iran, that's a trap for the right wing. Is China powerful? For sure. Should you be skeptical of what happened during COVID? I think so. Is China perfect? No. Are they taking over a lot of parts of Africa? Yes. Is China a global power? For sure. Are they America's competitor? Yeah, I'm not saying to get on your knees and act like a Democrat and be like, China never did anything wrong. No, they're complicit in a lot of stuff. However, the right-wing strategy is to just China, Iran, China. What about what's going on in America? What about the fact that our media does more damage to America than China does? And it's not all Chinese. Some of it's China-owned, but not all of it. There's other reasons that the media is so bad. So to me, it just seems like Trump saying America first, I was like, this could be a good thing. Even before I liked Trump, I was like, if we focus on America, what about our homelessness? What about our taxes? What about our wars? Let's focus on America first. That's something that neither party wants to do. It's the left, it's the right, it's the right, it's the left, it's China, it's Iran, it's Russia. It's like, that's one of the best parts about America first is we can finally focus on America. But I feel like, them running you in circles around China, I'm not saying China's not doing anything. I'm just saying, like, I think it's a right-wing kind of trap to just get people like all riled up about something that they don't have control over, when the real problem that's maybe 10 times as big as China is your own, people and what we're doing to each other. Someone said, meanwhile, we waste billions launching another rover to Mars. Yeah, no comment on that. The more I talk about that stuff, the more they'll try to discredit me. But yeah, I'm not really impressed with that stuff. To make a long story short. Someone said that's exactly what Gina Carano's post was about, neighbors hurting their neighbors. She came off very nice, very vulnerable, very sweet on the Ben Shapiro interview. She seems like a nice lady. And yeah, I mean, the double standards are insane. But, I think it's for the better because obviously I don't think it's good what they did, but I think Gina will become a bigger superstar. And now her purpose is even more important. It's a creepy time, but in my opinion, and I know Gina follows me on Twitter and Instagram, and I've said, I've asked her, she needed a platform to talk on or whatever. So I know she likes my videos, but in general, I think she's on the better side in the sense of it's better to get ahead of this stuff, because if you stay on the left and play their games, first of all, you're not being true to yourself, but also they're eventually collapse on themselves. So I think her timing, while maybe not ideal for her career, I think it's going to work out better for her because I think she's, she's better than that. And I think it's made her even a bigger deal. So now she's like a icon for multiple reasons. I think that's more powerful than even just a role that'll eventually run out. So I think she got ahead of it. My thoughts on cloning sheep. Yeah, I'm not a big clone fan as far as cloning all this stuff, but they've been cloning stuff for a while. They just don't let you talk about it. Who do I think will win MVP? You talking about in the NBA? If you're talking about the NBA, I think, what's his name? Jokic. I feel like Jokic or Lillard maybe deserve it, but I don't think they'll get it. I don't know. Maybe they'll give it to LeBron or something, but I would like to see Jokic or Lillard win. I think, in the NBA, a lot of good players got injured a little bit this year, and they've almost played full seasons and been killing it. So I kind of give them the edge for that reason. Someone said NBA is the bread and circus. Well, politics is the bread and circus too. It's entertaining for me, but it's not my whole life. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate it. Mark said, why does the right not own and use media more? Yeah, I don't know what the ownership. I mean, it's harder to own something than you would think. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get what's going on with the media. I think at a certain point, honestly, there were mistakes made. I think we always talk about self-accountability. And when it comes to Christians or conservatives, I think the same thing. I think Christians and conservatives kind of got lazy for decades. And, it always seems like a bad time. Like in the 60s and 70s and 80s, it probably seemed like a bad time. Oh, I don't want to say it now. I don't want to do anything now. But if you look back at 1990, it was probably way easier to do then than it is now. You get what I'm saying? And same with now. It might seem like a bad time to speak out now, but it might be harder in a couple of years. So I think Christians and conservatives got really naive and foolish or comfortable, complacent maybe in America for decades, you know. And I think that's what made Trump so special, though, is like he was, you know, and this is where you have to really give him credit. He like just was the biggest thing ever. Like there was no fight in conservatism. There was no fight in Christianity forever. I don't know that Trump's the most Christian guy, but he says he's a Christian and he seems to say things that weren't said for a while. So that's why Trump became such an icon. There's never been anyone in politics that actually tried, or at least pretended to try, as hard as he did. So yeah, I don't know why they don't own any media, but definitely some things were done over the last 100 years to consolidate power. Any new music coming? Possibly. Way Too Jack for the Gulag out now. I never played. Someone asked me about Grand Theft Auto. Uh, I didn't really play Grand Theft Auto that much. I wasn't really. I didn't. I don't think I owned the system that had it on. Thank you, Rachel. I am having a good day. When is my book done? I don't know, because I gotta spend another day. I'm slacking on it a little bit, but if you guys have noticed, I've done a lot of videos. I have a whole video I want to film and edit later today, so I'm gonna film, edit that video. Maybe I'll write some of my book today, but I'm like kind of scattered. I'm starting a new merch thing with a new distributor. I'm gonna have someone who does customer service. We're gonna buy, because what I was doing, just let you on the inside, I was drop shipping stuff, good stuff. But I'm gonna buy and print like hundreds of things. I'm gonna basically create my own warehouse. So I'm taking the next step in the merch game. So I got a lot going on. I'm self-managed, so it's a blessing, but my book has been put on the back burner. I need to just spend like 5 hours and crank it out, but it's very close. I don't want to release a sloppy product to you guys. So it's got to be right. Just right. Someone said, Nana said on Facebook, you're being impersonated and someone's friend requesting your viewers. I apologize, Nana. I can't do anything about it. I get impersonated on Facebook maybe 1,000 times, and I'm not even exaggerating. Every day they make fake anomaly accounts and they try to scam my followers. Facebook, I've told them they'll take it down, but that's all I could do is report it, take it down, report it, take it down. They keep making new accounts, and Facebook stopped talking to me. They cut me off. I think I was annoying them when they took all my stuff away. So I wish I could do something about it, but the bad news is it's not going to stop happening. Just know if you get a friend request, it's not me. The good news is it means I'm doing well, so that's why they're doing it. Do I have a publisher cover back photo? No, I gotta work on that, but I'm probably just gonna self-publish it, to be honest. I'm not gonna, with the internet, it's pretty easy to self-publish. So with the book, I don't have a big team. I'm not working with Barnes and Noble, so I'm probably gonna self-publish it, put it out, and then eventually maybe like print my own. But I want to just get it out there first. Spanky said, I love Made in the USA links. Can you wish my future Oliver son a safe delivery? Yeah, God bless you, Spanky. God bless Oliver. Prayers and blessings for a safe delivery and a healthy upbringing. And thank you for the compliment on MadeUSAProductsOnly.com. We've added 30 businesses. That's another thing. That takes hours. I go through all the, approved businesses, and I try to weed out the ones that look really legit and have done sales and stuff. So USA Products Only. I have a lot of projects. I mean, I'm grateful. It's, I'm doing well, a lot better than I was 2 years ago. So with this, extra time, I'm able to work full time for myself. I try not to squander it. So I'm doing like 6 things at once. It seems overwhelming, and the book might be delayed, but it's a blessing. I'm starting projects and businesses, and I'm trying to take full advantage of just whatever it is that I have. I guess time, resources, following. I need a filter. What do you mean, for my face? A face filter? Do I look ugly? Or are you talking about a different filter? Will Biden make it until Christmas? I don't know. I don't think he'll make it for 4 years, but will he make it for a year? Maybe. He doesn't really do that much. He just sits and has like the one lady talk for him most of the time. Thank you, Manuel. Appreciate it. Someone said, come to Oklahoma. Anything's a possibility, but thank you, Valerie. I'm gonna hang out for 5 or 10 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get to work. I am working now technically too, but I have a cool video I want to show you guys tomorrow. So I like the short videos as well. Someone said, how is it possible for Trump to even get in on March 4th? It's not possible, but that's what I'm saying. Some of these accounts, they mix truth with lies, and people believe them because they're so honest. They're like, dude, these people, they'll tell you what you want to hear and then mix it with things that don't make sense. How would Trump? I don't know. Biden's there. Biden's whole staff is there. The entire White House, or whatever, wherever they're operating from, they're all working. Janet Yellen, the press secretary. How would Trump? He's not going to get in. It's a psyop. The Q people, I'm telling you, human trafficking is real. Child trafficking is real. Trust the plan, 5D chess, we have a plan is fake. It's a psyop. It's a hoax. These people are either controlled opposition agents to get you set up to be labeled domestic terrorists, or they're just fools and dummies and, egotistical. A lot of these people, I don't think they're all in on it. I think some of them are just egomaniacs. And once you build an audience, what if you say something and 10 people comment on it, and then you become a Q? Oh, March 4th, there's a big event, and you get thousands of comments. Are you going to stop saying it? No, you're financially and socially motivated to keep the hoax alive, and that's what they're doing. X22 has made a living off hoaxing conservatives into being labeled domestic terrorists. He doesn't care. He's either a controlled opposition agent or he's just an idiot. I don't know. Him especially, I think he's kind of a setup because he never shows his face. But in general, how would Trump get in on March 4th? It's a fake hoax for Trump supporters to bite so they could keep the military there to use them against you, to label you a terrorist. But people don't care. It's like they've brainwashed the right wing just like the left wing. If you hold a piece of paper in front of the left wing, they don't even, half of them can't see it anymore. They're so into the anti-Trump narrative. They're so committed to the lie that the media has fed them. The truth means nothing to the left wing anymore. And the same thing is true to a lot of right wingers. The truth means nothing to these people because they're so dedicated to the lie and they're so dedicated to, the narrative. So it's like they fried the brain of right wingers. The bad part is if they just fried your brain and it was just you, it's not a big deal. But if they do it to entrap and frame everybody else, then it becomes a problem. Then you guys need to stop. But I said this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and every time I've said it, I've gotten backlash. So I was like, what if this all happens and you guys think it's a good thing? And they're like, we would never do that. That's exactly what they did during the lockdowns. They all pretended for months that it was a secret plan to arrest all the pedophiles because they don't like pedophiles and everyone doesn't like pedophiles. Okay, but that doesn't mean because they shut the country down that they're getting arrested. These people are seriously egomaniacs or just idiots. It's like, let's just say I love chicken tenders. Oh, that's chicken tenders. Guys, that's chicken tenders on the wall. But anomaly, that's not chicken tenders. No, you don't understand. I love chicken tenders, so I'm just going to pretend like that's chicken tenders on the wall. That's QAnon. I want to believe this is happening because I want it to happen. So when it doesn't happen, I'm just going to make up theories about it happening. My whole wall's filled with chicken tenders. And then you realize it's not true. And I'm like, I told you that wasn't chicken tenders. We never said that. Q never said the wall was chicken tenders. What are you talking about? The wall's never been chicken tenders. That's not what we said. We were talking about March, not April. No, we're talking about May, no June, July. We've been saying August the whole time, September. What are you talking about? That's not chicken tenders. We said chicken tenders. That's disinfo is necessary. What are you talking about? Anomaly disinfo. We were giving out fake information for the bad guys, but we understand it all. Just wait for the plan. That's who they are. They're like psychos. It's like, yeah, human trafficking is real, but that doesn't mean that the lockdown was a super secret plan. It's like, grow up. They've got like grandmas who are like, I ain't playing the play. It was a genius psychological operation on conservatives because they wiped away people's jobs. So now people have no purpose. Millions of people who had purpose, now they're sitting in their house and they have no purpose, and you fill their brains with purpose. You're fighting the pedophiles. The only way to fight the pedophiles is to follow QAnon. If you don't follow QAnon, you're not fighting the pedophiles. If you don't believe the lockdown's a super secret strategy and Trump's playing Operation Warp Speed's a plan for the military, so people started getting attached to it because they had no purpose in their life. And now people have done it for a year. How it's like leaving, Islam or leaving Christianity. It's not easy to do because you've built a whole social following around it. If you, go to a church for 3 years and that's all your friends and you decide you're not Christian anymore, your whole life is kind of going to be shattered. So it's the same with the Q people. They're caught in this fake illusion, this fake religion, this psyop, and most of them are too scared, egotistical to admit it. And it's not easy to admit because these people lash out at you if you tell the truth about what they're doing. And especially if you're one of them, like Dylan Wheeler. Dylan was like a Q maniac for 3 years. He was like freaking out at me all the time, freaking out at everybody. He was getting retweeted by Q on the message board. They were like, Dylan, and then he realized it's not real. I'm an idiot. This is all anti-Christian and it's a total like false religion. And the Q people hate him now. So it's like if you're one of them, it's like equivalent to being in like a strict Islam community and then you leave, they'll lash out at you and try to ruin your life. They're nasty, bitter, have no accuracy at all with their, or it's not like they're really good with their dot connecting. They don't have to be good because they say disinfo is necessary. So if they mess up, it's not a big deal because it's not built on accuracy. It's built on pretending like you have a secret invisible set of tarot cards in front of you where nothing even matters in the first place. So it's a sick game to be caught in, but doesn't mean it's all fake. Yeah, of course, there's certain things that are real about it, but that's how they get you. It's like, well, this is real, so this must be. How is Trump coming back in March? He's not coming back in March. It's a hoax, a setup, a psyop to entrap Trump supporters and label them terrorists. And it's already happening and it's already working to perfection. And people like Lynn Wood, I'm the truth, I'm the truth, I'm the truth. Lynn Wood, you said you thought that, Trump was going to win and Mike Pence was facing a firing squad. Oh, I know, I meant metaphorically. No, you thought he was going to get tried for treason or he thought should get tried for treason. And you said that. And then people went to the Capitol and then everybody got set up. And he doesn't care. These people will never stop. They have an audience. They have a sense of purpose. Their egos are through the roof. Yeah, keep it going. Oh, just trust me. Trust. Truth. This is the truth. It's the truth. It's like, bro, you said truth 6 times in a sentence. Just tell the truth. You don't have to say you're the truth. Just tell the truth. If you tell the truth 6 times and you lie 3 times and just say, I'm the truth, the truth. No, you told the truth 6 times. You lied 3 times. You're a boomer who doesn't know how to use the internet and falls for hoaxes every other week and is too egotistical to admit they were wrong. So you just keep using the word truth. I get these people. I'm just not interested. Hydro said, William Cooper said, people would rather send their sons to a war than be called a hypocrite. Yeah, William Cooper was, he was the real deal when it came to a lot of research. He called out both sides in the military industrial complex. Someone said, are you ADHD? You seem ADHD. No, I'm in front of a live stream. I have 2 cameras in my face. So, I try to keep the energy up because I have like 2,000 people watching me right now. So if I just sat here and just like stood still and just said, nah, you'd probably be like, yo, this guy's really boring. So sometimes I like to tell a joke and I like to move around. Sometimes I stretch and I do jumping jacks, and we got grandmas who watch and the grandmas do jumping jacks. It's a good time. Am I ADHD? No, I'm just filled with energy and coffee. But I've also learned, if you watch my live streams from 4 years ago, a lot has changed. One, I got a stand-up desk. That's one thing I'll say. When you sit down, your posture, it changes your whole attitude. When I'm standing up, I don't even have to be there. If you guys annoy me and say, normally what? I just say, I could just leave midstream. I like the stand-up desk. So it changes your energy. It's good, better for my back. But also, 4 years of streaming, you pick up tricks, you learn things. And, I always think, well, I don't want to be too boring, but I'm also not going to like overdo it. I don't know. Am I ADHD? I don't even think it's like, I think it's overprescribed. I think I'm energetic. I'm going to read this real quick. I think it's a good comment. Ruth said, "What's up, Ruth? You're on air." Ruth said, "I don't think Trump is a false religion. I feel like there are a lot of people out there who are putting him on a pedestal that he was going to fall off and everyone be angry at him when he was not who they were promoting like crazy." Well, yeah, exactly. It's not how people respond to something. It's really on you. That's called self-accountability. So with the Q thing, it's like if people are just reading it and being like, hey, this is a thing, I'll do the research and I'll consider it, whatever. But people made the Q thing a religion and it became a cult, because not because of what they posted. He can't force you. I read it and I'm just like, I don't trust it. I mean, some of it's real, some of it's not. They're trying to tell me what to do and trust like government agencies. I don't like it. But like, it's the same with Trump. Trump was Trump. And honestly, I was more upset, and it's my own fault. I shouldn't be upset. But I was more upset with Trump supporters than I was Trump. Because when Trump started doing all this stuff during the lockdown and I started reporting on it, a lot of people were like, no, I agree with you. But a lot of people became like so culty. And it got to the point, and I'm telling you, most people might not have followed it, but the injection of the Lynn Woods and the QAnons and these type of people, they injected this mindset into MAGA, whether people followed it or not. And it just changed the whole like thought process of so many people, to the point where from January to January 20th, I couldn't even talk to a lot of my Trump supporter friends because they thought that Trump was going to win and Pence was going to be put on trial. And like, I was like, that's not going to happen. But they didn't, it's like they didn't even want to talk to me because the cult of Trump got bigger than even like Christianity, to the point where like they didn't even, it's like that was the religion. It was like, trust Trump like he's God. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's Trump's fault that people did that. I think people need to take accountability in their own life. But that is what happened during the lockdowns. And I think especially after the election, people got in this thing where like, I trust Mike Lindell. General Flynn wouldn't lie to me. They're 100% sure Trump's 100% going to get in. It's like, I don't trust. I mean, he's a pillow salesman. And this guy's like a lifelong Democrat donor who's posting hoax articles to conservativebeaver.com. I'm not saying they're bad people, but I'm my own person. So I'm not, I do research for a living. If I watch these people post fake articles, I'm like, yeah, they're not that great at researching. They might be energetic, charismatic people, but they're not like the smartest or brightest or most honest, in my opinion. But you get what I'm saying? I agree with you. It's not Trump's fault that people acted that way, but towards the end, the cult of Trump got bigger than Trump. The idea of who Trump was in people's head became 50-dimensional chess. He'd never let us down. And the truth was, he kind of exited like a coward. He set his own people up. He pardoned a bunch of totally whack people and criminals that weren't even like, his list was gross. I was like, look, like Democrat, like corrupt governors and or like Senate congressmen. I'm like, why is Trump pardoning these people? He went out like a politician. He came in like an underdog. He came out like a big pharma salesman. It's not to blame him for everything, but the cult of Trump was like, he would never do that to us. And the reality was, no, he did that to you. That's exactly what he did. So it's just, that's maybe the message that's maybe I'm trying to convey, I think here too. It's not to blame, but the future of America, if it's not all scripted and planned already, is in the hands of, the thought process of hundreds of millions of people. If the thought process is and running in circles, yeah, it's going to be a joke for the next 10 years. But if there's real, stepping back and being like, listen, you don't have to hate, but it's like, I don't want to play the same game. Like, I've been on this carousel for too long, and I demand a little bit more, or hold your ground a little bit more. And I think that would have went a really long way if, instead of worshiping Trump during March through November, if conservatives stood their ground to Trump, that would have changed the game. Because when Trump's in office, you actually have someone in there, in my opinion, that's willing to change if he has enough reason to. But instead of doing that, people followed QAnon, trusted the plan that never existed, worshiped Trump like an idol, and said that he had a secret plan, and he didn't have a plan. The plan was, you're a U.S. citizen, he's the president. You're supposed to believe in something, but instead of believing in your liberty and freedom and common sense, you decided to believe in Trump being an idol, and you lost that battle. I would go as far as to say that Trump supporters are more responsible for the lockdowns than even Trump, because when you have 80 million people, if 80 million people work together and stand their ground, it could have been over in April. But because Trump was president 80 million people decided to believe that he had a secret plan, and he never did. And now that it's over, I thought for sure after the election, people will finally get focused on this stuff. But most of these political analysts in my position, all they do is play the same game. All they do is play the same game. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Look at Congress. Let's watch the impeachment trial for 5 days. It's the same game. Even though Trump's out of office, the Trump supporters, like the influential ones, they don't even seem to care about the lockdowns that much. They're playing the same game they were 4 months ago. Someone said you made a song. You're damn right I did. It's called I Like Trump, and I stand by almost everything I said in the song. I like Trump. I like Trump. I don't really give all y'all, I like him. I didn't just say I hate him. I do like him, but these are the options I have. I feel like I'm a free individual. If I like Ron DeSantis, I don't have to agree with every bill he's ever passed in his life. If I like Trump, he's not my God. I like him. I like my friend, and my friend likes apple juice. Actually, I like apple juice too. My friend likes carrot juice, and I don't like carrot juice. Oh, he's your friend. You wrote a song about him. Yeah, I like him. I don't have to agree with Operation Warp Speed. I don't have to agree with lockdowns. I don't have to agree with the imperial model. I don't have to agree with all his decisions. That's how it works. It's okay. I made a song about Trump, so I have to agree with everything he's ever said, like a god. That's called like cultism. And also, I forget what I was going to say, but it was going to be good. Oh man, what was I going to say? I had something so good on the tip of my tongue, and then I forgot it. What a joke. Unfortunate. It was going to be very good. Oh, well. It's because I talked about apple juice, and then I was like, I do like apple juice, and it just threw the whole combo south. Gosh darn it. Oh, well. I like Trump about you don't have to agree with everything everyone says. Apple juice, carrot juice. Where was we? Where was we, folks? Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay. Woo. All right. I was going to say this too. With the whole Trump thing, and this is like, it's like people who really like Trump, people who really like Q. It's not everybody, but I've noticed something interesting. There's two things that they say for Trump. And listen, I like Trump. You'll be hard pressed to find people who give Trump the benefit of the doubt more than me. Actually, you'll find millions of people because they don't actually analyze anything accurately. But, I give Trump a very fair shake. Two things people say when they like Trump so much that they don't want to ever disagree with them. They say he's playing 5D chess. Like they never want to admit he ever made a mistake in his life. So half the time, he's a genius. He's a wizard. He's playing 5D chess. He has Nikola Tesla space machines. He's never made a mistake. I love Barron. I'll vote for Barron one day, but like Barron's running the operation, whatever. So it's like he's never made a mistake. He's always got a plan. Don't question Trump. That's the Q cult. Don't question Trump. He's got a plan. It's like a false religion of Trump, psyop. And then when he does something they disagree with, they go, oh, he didn't know any better. It's just his advisors. Oh, man, Kushner got the best of him. So which is it? Trump is this all-powerful deity that is always playing 12-dimensional chess and has never made a mistake? Or he's so foolish that he can't even make decisions for himself and he doesn't know who he surrounds himself by. It can't be both at the same time, but these are the games that people play when they like Trump so much. He's never made a mistake. It's 50,000 dimensional chess. He's just playing them just any day now. They're going to boom. He's going to blow their mind with the Epstein. And you're like, okay, let's see if it never happened because it was all fake. But then it's like, okay, he didn't do that. Oh, no, it's not Trump's fault. It's Kushner's fault. Oh, no, it's his advisor. Trump is a grown man. It can't be both at the same time. These people, it's like a cult. And I like Trump. I have Trump ice cubes, okay? Someone would say that's a cult. I just wanted ice cubes and I wanted Trump's face on it. Just don't judge me. But anyway, melt in your mouth, not in your hands. No, but anyway, I use it. I use it for my blender for my smoothies. It's like the perfect size and it's got a little Trump face. It's pretty funny. But anyway, Trump had Steve Bannon on his team. I don't know everything about Steve Bannon, his history, his past, who he is. I think he was a pretty damn good campaign manager, and I think he's a pretty damn good mind. When I hear him talk in interviews, he strikes me as way wiser than most people I've seen around Trump. Just going to say it. Bannon helped Trump win the 2016 election. Millions of people helped Trump win the 2016 election. I didn't even really help Trump win the 2016 election because I didn't even do that much back then. But Steve Bannon did. Alex Jones did. I don't agree with everything Alex says, far from it, but he did help Trump win the election. Alex gets wiped off social media. Trump fires Steve Bannon, calls him Sloppy Steve, which is hilarious, like Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Steve, very funny. He fires Steve Bannon, makes fun of him, surrounds himself by stupider and faker people than Steve Bannon, shuts down the country, justifies it, loses the election with mass mail-in ballots and other things. And then I'm supposed to believe that he has no accountability in that? So he's the smartest person in the world, but he's not smart enough to figure out that he eliminated all the loyalists around him and replaced them with swamp creatures and, people who didn't have our country's best interests at heart. Either he's the smartest person ever or he's kind of foolish. Maybe it's a mixture. I'm not blaming him, but I don't understand why people like on Twitter, they're like Kevin McCarthy. I follow a bunch of conservatives, obviously. Kevin, Columbia Bugle, great account, great guy. I don't know who it is because it's an anonymous account, but he posts great stuff. He's like Kevin McCarthy and Liz Cheney are phonies, blah, blah, blah. All these people do is they blame everybody except for Trump. I'm thinking to myself, I went to a Trump rally a couple of weeks before the election. Trump had Kevin McCarthy at the rally. I watched Kevin McCarthy get up on stage and Trump said, I love Kevin McCarthy. This is a great guy. He's my friend. Here's, Senator from Utah, Mike Lee. And then 2 weeks later, he's saying, oh, Kevin McCarthy's so bad, Mike Lee. It's like a circus. It's like a show they're just putting on a circus act for you. It's like if these people are accountable, Trump wasn't even standing up to them 2 weeks ago. I just find it so like people in the MAGA movement go in circles to blame it's Kushner. It's him. What about Trump has no role in this? No, he's really, really smart. I agree. He's very smart. I think, high IQ guy, he's playing 5D chess. Okay. But what about that? Oh no, he just didn't know. So he's super smart, but he didn't know who he surrounded himself by. I just find the excuses are like the MAGA, they're going in circles and they're also frustrated because they're placing blame on everybody except for Trump. Don't place all the blame on Trump. He did in some ways what he could do, but it's like, it's just a circus. Mark Levin posting Operation Warp Speed shilling. Taylor Green with the masks on. It's like, it just reminds me of like a television show that I just don't feel like watching anymore. But that's my thought. Someone said political soap opera. I think so. I really think it is because I think these people know more than they know because there's certain things that none of them will say, and they're always like playing this game. Like the lady across from Marjorie Taylor Greene, the lady across from her room or whatever, she posts a transgender flag, and she's like, oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene's anti-trans, and I posted a flag, and it gets all the Democrat retweets, and then she gets millions of dollars in fundraising. It's kindergarten for adults. I call it grifter garden, which means they're grifting, kindergarten with the grifting. Ooh, I'm going to post a transgender flag in front of her office. Ooh, and then they run away, and then everyone, the Democrats are like, oh my gosh, wow, that's so brave. I'm going to give you all my money. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene's like, oh yeah, patriots. What's more patriotic than making all of my workers submit with a mask on with my name on it? And everyone's like, oh my God, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's really a brave woman. Let's give her our money. And I'm just like sitting here watching all of this. I'm like, I like Marjorie Taylor Greene more than I like, I don't know, AOC, but am I supposed to pretend like this doesn't just seem like a circus to me? Like they're all just like, oh, I'm just going to put, it's just a joke to me. I don't know. I'm like, man. And then someone's like, I'm running. There's some, good looking chick. Not that it matters, but I think it kind of does in some sense. If you're just like this blob creature, you just come in or I'm running against Adam Kinzinger. People are like, Okay. And then if you're like some, gorgeous chick who's like, I'm running against Adam Kinzinger, everyone's like, gosh darn it, take my money, lady. It's like anyway, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but there's some good looking woman who's running. She's like, I'm running against Adam Kinzinger. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, give her money and support and social media. If I cared about money and attention, I would run for Congress. This is how I don't really care that much. I obviously want to make a living. I want to make good content. I want people to see it because I think it's important, but that's pretty much the extent of it. I don't want any more attention. If I wanted more money and more attention, I'd run for Congress. Hey guys, I'm running against Maxine Waters. I'd get $5 million overnight just to lose by 40 points. I would get blown out, but I would just make a killing, and then everyone retweets you. This lady's literally done nothing. She's just running against Adam Kinzinger, and she's hot, and she's getting 50,000 retweets. Everyone's like, oh my God, take my money, take my money. She's probably going to lose. If she wins, congrats, she won. But I just think it's the funniest grift to me. It's like running for Congress against somebody that everybody hates. I'll move to New York and run against AOC. I'll make $10 million, and I'll probably lose by 20 points. And I think I would win if I run. But anyway, in general, it's just so funny to me. Like the whole, like, I'm planting a transgender flag. I'm running against Adam Kinzinger. Everyone's like, money machine go burr. You just fill their account up, and then they just get blown out. But I get it, though. Somebody has to run. They need money. Listen, I get it. You can't win without money. So I'm not knocking it. I just find it very funny. Someone said good looking. I don't know. I thought she looked good. Am I wrong? Let me look up the picture. Listen, it's not about looks. It's about your soul and spirit. But I just want to see. Let me see. Kinzinger. What's her name? This is why I can't have a news show. Catalina Lauf. I mean, she looks good to me. She looks better than him or most of the women in Congress. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's got like a slow walk of her like walking. I'm just watching it now. She's walking through snow. I mean, she's on like, let me see. She's walking in, and it's not about looks, folks. She's doing turns. It's about her policies. America first. I'm watching with no sound on. Yeah, I mean, she could come.
This is a reality for us.
Hold on. Let's listen.
Every 3 votes he cast in Congress is with Nancy Pelosi. Instead of focusing on what really matters.
Yeah, she's cute. I think she's cute. But it's not about that. But, I'm sure I would vote for her over Adam Kinzinger. I'm just saying it's so funny. Like, she came out of nowhere and she's like, I'm running. And everyone's like, oh, give her my money. She's like, her and AOC could have like a little battle, and they get, like, oh, Black Lives Matter. Oh, no, all lives matter. No, Black Lives Matter. No, all lives matter. And then everyone's just like, give her my money. It's a good time. I'd watch that because the policy. I'd watch it because of the policy. Okay. It's about legislation, folks. It's about legislation. Okay. Let's calm down. Thank you, Richard. Daniel David said, anomaly, I super chatted twice. You never read my comment. I'll try to scroll up and see it. I don't see it. Sorry. You could just repeat it without a super chat. I'll try to read it. The super chats, it's a roll of the dice. I should be better with it because then maybe more people would do it, but I'm a loose cannon, folks. I start listening to music and lifting weights in the middle of live streams and stuff. Like, you get what you get with me. I apologize. I'm not your run of the mill. I try to see them all, but I just don't sometimes. Yeah, maybe you didn't. Yeah, nobody really saw it, Daniel. Did you really do it? Maybe you did. Sing your song. I don't want to sing my song, but I always like working out. I always like listening to my song and just crushing like workouts. And I don't do it to show off. It's a win-win-win. 1, I'm on live stream. 2, I'm getting a workout in while I'm working. 3, then we got grandmas and moms and all types of people here just working out with me. So it turns into a workout show. Everyone gets a workout. Also, I promote my music. Also, I feel good about it. I've been boxing recently, so I'm a little sore, but I might have to step in the ring sometime. I'm not for sure, but it's early stages of me boxing. I need like a year to go, but I started boxing. I don't want to get hit in the face, obviously, but if the right boxing match comes up, maybe one day I'll take it. Listen, I got a long way to go. I don't want to show off too many of my moves, but you get what I'm saying. And this is a non-violent stream. I'm talking Tai Chi, kickboxing. You do it at the yoga studio. I have to say that, or else they'll be like, Anomalies, he wants insurrection with yoga. And I'm like, what are you talking about? No, I have to be careful. Challenge Joe Rogan. I think Joe Rogan would probably kick my ass. I'm way taller than Joe Rogan. I'm probably a foot taller than Joe Rogan, but he's been like fighting his whole life. He could probably still beat me because I just started like 2 weeks ago. So after like a year of training, I could probably fight Joe Rogan, but this moment I wouldn't do it. But he's a solid guy, you know? He's smaller, but he's like, I've met him one time. He like said hi to me and like, he's got a firm handshake. So I know that guy, he knows how to get you down on the ground. If we did UFC, he'd come for my ankles. I'd be like, oh, and he'd be like, you know, he's like, he'd hit me like Geodude. You ever see Geodude? He's like a Pokemon. That's like Joe Rogan. He'd come sneak attack. All right, all this talk of getting beat up by Joe Rogan. We got to listen to Two Jack for the Gulag because I got to get a workout in. Let me see. Is my Spotify up or no? Could I take on Noam Chomsky? Yeah, I could definitely beat Noam Chomsky, but I would feel terrible about it. How bad? That would be so mean. Me versus Noam Chomsky. I would feel horrible. First of all, even Noam Chomsky in his prime, I could destroy him in a boxing match. But Noam Chomsky now, he's like 90 years old. That would be the meanest fight ever. All right, it's gonna turn into a workout show, folks. This is a wholesome program. All right, let's get some barbells in. I'm kind of sore, but I got to get stronger. They're trying to take me to the gulag, folks. I made this song, and then they actually literally almost tried to take. I don't make this song. I don't just make stuff up, folks. They want me in the gulag. I got to get bigger. This is self-preservation right here. This is what China's doing to their kids. The Chinese kids are getting stronger. American men are drinking soy milk and getting beta and losing all their sperm count. Not here, folks. We got to get that up. Someone said fight Logan Paul. No, because the Paul brothers have like years on me with boxing. Like boxing, you want to train a lot. You know, like Jake Paul's actually getting good at boxing because he trains all the time. I need to train every day. I'm training like once or twice a week, and I'm not even really training. They're training hardcore like every day. So they would whoop my ass. I need like years, and it costs a lot of money too. They're doing fights for millions of dollars, so they have the money. They'll pay like the best trainers in the world to train them like 5 days a week. I'm not making any money. I'm making like, $50 on super chats and YouTube takes part of them. I don't have the money to pay for the top trainers every day. I got videos to make. So maybe one day. Someone said you got to do shoulder presses. Well, my gym is closed, so everything I've been doing recently has been like at the house. I don't have every material that I want here, so it's not I don't have it all. Hopefully, they open my gym soon. California is really not progressive on that, but I made my own gym. It's okay. Someone said practice gains improvement. Yeah, I'm gonna practice, but if I want to actually get in a real boxing match, I need to train for like, in my opinion, at least 6 months and like every day. I don't want to lose. I'm not a loser. So if I hop in the ring, I'm not trying to get Nate Robinson like knocked out. That's not fun. Someone said the one Paul brother is really good at boxing. Actually, yeah, I think Jake is good. I played basketball with the Paul twins before, or the Paul brothers. They used to go to my gym when I went to LA. Jake is actually kind of coordinated. Logan's kind of a goofball. He's bigger, but Jake has some moves. I feel like Logan has worse coordination from what I've seen. I've seen them both play basketball. So Jake trains really hard. He's actually coordinated and he cares a lot. I think he's a lot better than Logan. And that's why he beat Nate Robinson. He could probably beat the Ben Askren guy he's fighting. I think he might win that too. Someone said the Hodge twins. Yeah, they look pretty big. I don't know how tall they are or their fighting skills, but Ethan, I just read Ethan's comment. I'm not gonna read. Someone said you're doing great considering. Yeah, considering I have no gym, I've been doing pretty good. All right, I gotta go in a couple minutes. I stayed too long, but it's all good. How do I feel about the stimulus? I mean, I always like a little bit of money, let's not gonna lie, but I think it's a travesty to shut down most businesses for a year, enslave the country essentially, and just throw people $600 and 80% of it's going somewhere else. I'm not a mathematician, I'm not an economist, but I'm guessing this is gonna have huge effects. And here's parts, I'm not gonna just like retell history for people because I'm not qualified to do that, but they leave out a lot of things in World War II and World War I. I mean, they never teach about communism, barely ever. It's like, oh, communism bad. It's like, yeah, but they don't go into details about it. But in Germany, part of the reason it got so bad is the economy got terrible from what I've read. And, people needed like a wheelbarrow just to buy a thing of bread. So inflation, a lot of economists, and once again, maybe they can just finesse this and it's not going to be that big of a deal. But what they did over the last year makes the last recession look like peanuts. And I'm not saying we've had a recession yet, but this year. But I don't know. What if supply and demand just gets totally screwed up, and then people need like $1,000 to just buy like a loaf of bread? This preceded a lot of the bad stuff that happened in World War II, and they never talk about it because the same people who did it then are doing it now. And that's the truth. It's like the banks and the scheming behind it and the media. It's the same situation. They did it. They always do it. They just never take accountability for it. So they don't teach history, right? Because they're just priming people for the next fall, and then they're going to act shocked when they happen. So if there's like a huge inflation problem, it didn't just come out of nowhere. They shut the country down for 2 years, bankrupted hundreds of thousands of restaurants. Prices are already going up for people. It's like, gas is going up for a lot of people thanks to Biden. You have, bread and food going up. Most people are telling me 30, 40% higher is how much stuff costs because the supply chain was broken. So, yeah, I guess, it's nice to get money. I got a $600 stimulus check or something. I don't know. I'm going to buy like a Nintendo 64 with it and have a good time. But as far as am I glad they did it? No, I think they should have just opened up in April or at bare minimum 15 days. And, but they never did. And now this is conservatism. I'm not trying to pick on Marjorie because I like her, but this is conservatism now. A year after they pretty much just imploded the currency and the economy, possibly. Oh, I'm a strong girl with all my name. My name is on my mask. My name's on my mask too. It says invisible because I'm not wearing one, because if I have to wear one, I'm not going to like proudly take a picture in it. I'm embarrassed. I'm just like, man, I'm not, it's not like a shining moment. I'm like, no, but whatever. I feel mean. I got to be nice. I like her. I like Mark Levin. I like her. I'm a nice guy. I'm just like, whatever. You get it. Thank you, Frank, for being a supporter. Jorge said, get a Kangen machine. Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews about the Kangen. It's so expensive too. I mean, I could buy it, but I'm in some ways I'm cheap. In some ways I'm not. I'm a good tipper. I'm a very generous friend and family member. But like, if I buy $1,000 water system, I need to make sure it's good. I got a Berkey, a couple $100. It's good. This Kangen, I better turn into like my skin better clear up overnight for $1,000. I want my money back from Jorge. No, I'm just kidding. I've heard it's good things, but I got to research it more, because if I'm dropping that much money on a water machine, I need to come out looking like a goldfish the next day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me know, Jorge. Send me a message and sell me on the Kangen. I'm not sold yet. I'm not against it, but I'm not sold. Sell me on it. You're good. You're a smart guy. You could do it. Someone said hyperinflation is coming. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some effect of what's going on, no question. And the fact that the banks turned off today, here, I'll read that real quick before I go. I got a couple more minutes. I got some energy. Let me see. Banks. Something happened today with the banks. Let me see. News. The Fed system that allows banks to send money back and forth went down for several hours. That seems like a big deal. Fed, Ars Technica said Fed glitch shuts down wire transfers, direct deposits, other services. That seems a little odd. I don't know. Someone said, I'd like to send stars, but I'm broke. Like everything broke. And you're good. You're fine. I don't need your stars. It's optional. You make me feel bad when you say I don't need it. If you can't do it or you don't want to do it, you don't have to tell people why. I appreciate it. Now I feel terrible though. But like sometimes people mess with me. The reason I say Patreon stars every time, you have to send them. Totally optional. I don't care if you never give me anything, just watch and share. That's more than enough, or don't share or don't watch. It doesn't really matter. But I say it because I don't really sell products and maybe I should change that. But I like to just do my own thing. So when I say stars, super chats, Patreon, because of Facebook supporters and Patreon, I'm able to do this. So I would like it to grow. I mean, it's always nice to make more, let's be honest. But I'm at the point where my base level is fine. I could pay rent. I can make money. Sometimes I could save a little bit, it depends what's going on, but that's all I want. I just want to be able to do this and work on my what I'm doing. So I say it every time because I don't have a sponsor to say every time. So I just say that. But that might change. I might get a sponsor or something. I don't know, but it's totally optional. Don't have to do it. It's not demanding. And I legitimately feel terrible when people say that to me. But I've given during the pandemic, I don't know if you guys remember, but I gave thousands of dollars away to people. And a lot of people said, Anomaly, you helped me. And I've given it forward. Some guy tried to give it back to me. I said no. But when the shutdown happened and nobody was opening the country, I just started Venmoing people and sending people PayPal. I sent out like a couple $1,000 to people who didn't have like a job and stuff. So, I try to give back when I can too. Wasn't much, but it was like a direct deposit before they did the stimulus checks to people because I was doing well at the time. So I figured I could. But that's what it is. Thank you, the coup. All right, let's end on a good note, and then I'm going to take off. Thank you guys for being here. Someone said sponsor myself. Well, I do. That's why I have Patreon, but also I have the perk to Patreon is I can't answer people's messages when they send me messages on Facebook or Instagram all the time. So on Patreon, I see all the messages and I answer all the messages. So if you sponsor on patreon.com/raretalk, that's it. On Facebook, barring Facebook doing something stupid to me, we do a live stream every month or every other month. I try to do it every month. I can't remember if I did it this month or last month, but either way, I'm gonna do it early in March. So that's the perk there, is like a private live stream. And then, I have the hats, dreamrare.com. I have the hats and the shirts, and I'm actually having a meeting tomorrow, and I'm doing it all different. I'm getting my own warehouse essentially to sell my own products, and then USA products only. I'm not making money on it now, but other people are, which is cool. But I'm building in other ways to monetize. So I pretty much sponsor myself now. I sell my own products, I guess, or I pitch to people that I can. If I get a certain baseline, I'm able to just crank out videos. And I'll say this too before I go, just a backdrop. On Facebook, sometimes they don't monetize for a day or 2 days later. I mean, this year I've been getting crushed. Like I'm down so much from last year because of what they shut off my Facebook. They've cut my reach a little bit also because they don't monetize quickly. But because of Patreon and Facebook supporters, if I finish a video, I don't hold on to it. I just put it out. The only time I held on to it was that Chinese video because I wanted it to be out Monday morning. But, if I was like really struggling, which I'm not, I would hold on to it for 2 days because I'd want it to be monetized. Because to be honest, it's the difference between hundreds of dollars pretty much every time. If I don't get monetized, I'm losing out on hundreds, sometimes thousands, but most of the time hundreds of dollars. But I don't do that because I make enough on Patreon and Facebook supporters. So even if my videos don't get monetized, I just get them out to the people as soon as possible in the morning. And, I don't really care. It's like, it's a bonus if it is, but that's why Patreon and Facebook supporters were good. If I was really struggling, I'd have to hold on to everything and try to make sure it all got monetized. But now I'm just cranking. That's what that is really for. Because some people give away all these things on Patreon. I always tell people I can answer your messages on Patreon, but I'm literally, I have 2 different emails. I actually have more, but I have 2 emails. I have 200 emails, 10 emails. I'm doing this. I have, 100 companies to look over. I'm so busy that I could do perks and stuff on Patreon, but then I'd never make videos. Where if you go to my channel last week, I have like 4 or 5 videos that took like 20 hours to edit. And I love doing it, but that's kind of my workflow. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. People say you should do that. I'm like, I'm just cranking, lifting weights, going like this. I'm boxing in my free time. I'm playing basketball. That's what I really want to do. I'm trying to play a one-on-one. Who wants to play me? Jake Tapper, I beat you. Anderson Cooper, not even close. Don Lemon, you'd lose. Tucker Carlson, probably can't even dribble that well. He's more of a fisherman. But, anybody you see that you watch and say, oh, I like their videos, tell them Anomaly wants to play them one-on-one in basketball. I challenge them live stream, or we film it, play to 11, ones and twos, play to 21 if they're in stamina. And we film it, we put it online. I challenge anybody to basketball. Who wants it? I think I could beat them. That's my game, soccer and basketball. But I don't want to show off, but that's a dunk. But that's like a Fisher Price dunk. I don't want to do it. You get it. One-on-one. Who wants it? What do I think about Facebook dividing us with their algorithms? Please talk about this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact Facebook algorithms now, but beyond divide people, they just cover up certain information and promote like CDC and CNN. As far as, they want clicks and views. And I think Facebook is to blame for a lot of things for algorithms, but I think some of it's human nature. So in order to change, Facebook is a different beast, but say like CNN, the most CNN views got in a while, if not ever, was the Capitol riots. So the left wing loves to see drama. The right wing loves to see drama. How come Kim Kardashian, gets more views than a scientist who discovers something? It's like the Facebook dividing thing, are their algorithms sneaky? Of course. But if, that goes to both sides, people need to stop consuming and clicking on content that's like dramatic and angers them. I think that's part of it. But Facebook, I think the real thing they're doing is they're algorithmically, rigging things against certain of their influencers with fact check. You saw the PolitiFact fact checker. That lady's a liar. I'm sorry. She's a liar. She's like, her body language. She's like, I mean, Cuomo, the thing is, he didn't really know he was doing it. They didn't know they were doing it. Well, he knew he was doing it. But it's like, that's who runs PolitiFact, that lady. These people are awful. And that's who gets to shut down my videos. Let's calm down. She's probably watching this now. Wait, are you saying I'm a liar? Fact check, that's false. Fact check, I've never told a lie in my life. Fact check, I'm a perfect human. Fact check, I'm smarter than you. Fact check, I'm a liberal. Fact check, Joe Biden never did anything wrong. Fact check, those aren't kids in cages. Fact check, those are migrant facilities with, it's like, that's who these people are. They're like watching in the bushes. They're like, well, Biden didn't do the kids in cages. Oh, it wasn't Obama. It's like, you're not the truth, lady. That's who runs PolitiFact. Do you see that video from my last video? That's the PolitiFact lady, the editor-in-chief. Dear Lord, no wonder why they're so dishonest. It's like they're like a PR team for Democrats and establishment elites. Every story that comes out, they're flipping it, figuring out a way to flip it to protect people they like and to bury people they don't like, regardless of what the facts are. That's not PolitiFact, Politi-hoax. What? Oh, fact check, no. Fact check, false. Fact check, I'm the truth. Fact check, I know the truth. I've never not told the truth. I am the truth. I work really hard on it. It's like, lady, let's calm down, all right? You went on CNN. You told a little fibberoo. We all saw it. You gave 2 different answers. You said, oh, yeah, Cuomo did it, but there's no data to really prove that the death rate increased. And then you said, yeah, well, they didn't even really know they were doing it in the nursing homes. So Cuomo pushed an executive order or an order that told nursing homes to take in COVID-19 patients, probably forcing them to do that. But your 2 excuses are, one, yeah, he did it, but the data didn't really show that it was that bad. Yeah, okay. And then the second one is the nursing homes didn't know they were doing it. Fact check, you're a liar, PolitiFact lady. What a dishonest woman. These people, their egos are through the roof because they have the power to just be like, don't get me started with these people because they hate me because they have all this power and nobody likes them. They can't even get like their cousin to like their tweet or something. It's like, You don't even got a friend from high school that can click like on your thing. You got all this power, all this money, all this control over humanity, and nobody likes you. And then you see me, I don't have anything. I have a cell phone, a camera, I run my own operation, and I'm getting millions of views more than you, and you're so mad. I get it. I get the dynamic of it. These people don't have talent. They can't, if they had their own operation, could they start their own little thing? No, nobody cares about them. They need to just, suck the power teat, for lack of a better word, of some organization and grift their way up to the top and then get to this position. I'm the gatekeeper now. It's mine. That's what I can't stand these companies. I've worked at one before. They just steal my stuff, say that they did it, tell me to go get coffee. Hey, can you go get coffee? Yeah, I'll get coffee. Not because you told me to get coffee, because I like coffee. So yeah, I'll be your coffee boy because I'll drink it and I like it. Mayfield said, you have a powerful voice. Don't let go or don't give up. I love your videos. I can't give up. I can't let go. And I'm just going to say they want to take me to the gulag, but I'm just going to keep working out. Not only do I not let go, I grip harder. They try to take it away from me and I go, I just get more jacked. I will not stop. All right. Someone said, Anomaly, what's your pronoun? My two pronouns are stop and stealing my money via taxation. It's my pronoun. Someone said no gulag for me. I'm too fast for the gulag. I've been challenging people to basketball. No one wants to play me. I challenged Owen Schroeder to basketball. Then they took his Twitter account away. It's not his fault. Sorry, Owen. Who else did I challenge in basketball? Jorge Ventura said he wanted to play me in basketball. Then, never heard back. I'm not saying he doesn't want to, but the invitation is still open. Adam Green said he wanted to play me in basketball, but he doesn't because I beat him. I mean, he does maybe, but I don't know. I'll play anybody. Who else? Fleckas. I played Fleckas in basketball. I beat him. We threw away the footage because it was a blowout. Listen, I don't want to get into specifics here, but right now I'm undefeated. Who do you think could beat me in who do you think could play me in basketball? Crowder. I'd beat Crowder. Challenge Crowder. Mark Levin. It's a blowout. He probably doesn't play basketball. He's more into chess probably, and there's nothing wrong with that. What about ABL or Young Ripa? I don't know who that is. Glenn Greenwald. I'd beat him in basketball, no question. Someone said Crowder has a bad heart and a bad knee. Well, yeah, now I feel terrible. So I'd obviously beat him, and that's not fair. So someone said Johnny Juicer. I'll play Johnny in basketball. I don't know. Does he hoop? Ben Shapiro can ball. I imagine Ben Shapiro balling like Prince from the Dave Chappelle episode. You ever see that one? Game, blouses. Either Ben Shapiro's terrible at basketball and he can't even dribble, or he plays like Prince and he just balls stupid hard and everyone's so confused. I'm guessing Shapiro's terrible, but it would be hilarious if he just balled ridiculously hard and he's like, game. He's like, sorry, bed and branch sheets. 11-0. You're like, damn, he just dropped a sponsor in the middle of a game. The dude, he would definitely be doing that. He'd be like, so it's 4-0. Speaking of 4-0, it reminds me of a 9-to-5 job. Numbers are cool. Me and my wife's a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but she's a doctor. Speaking of doctors, we have bed sheets to sell. I'd be like, bro, we're in the middle of a basketball game. You're out here trying to sell bed sheets. He's like, listen, got to make money. I get it. I don't. Eric July. I'll play Eric in basketball. Tell him I'm like Luka Doncic. The Euro steps taking over the NBA. You got a lot of these European. Jokic, Campazzo's been killing it. I don't know if you've seen him. This dude's crushing. He's from Argentina. But the invitation's open to anybody. Any news analyst, anybody in politics that wants to play me in basketball, one-on-one, I'll play. Maybe we'll bet on it. Maybe not. Live stream it or film it and edit it. And I'll put a scoreboard and be like, bling, bling. The numbers will come up. I'm with it. Tim Pool, he's not even scoring a point on me. It's not fair. Someone said you might be able to beat Mitch McConnell. Yeah, I'm definitely beating Mitch McConnell. That I could see him kind of having a mean jump shot, though. Old cocaine Mitch in the back from 3-point line like Duncan Robinson. I could see that, but yeah, I'm beating Mitch McConnell one-on-one. Don't take on Bongino. I could beat Dan Bongino in basketball. It's not fair because I know he had some health problems now, but Dan, he's not a baller. I've seen him in person. I'm like a lot taller too. He's not beating me one-on-one. No offense, just not happening. Trump Jr. I could beat Trump Jr. in basketball, no question. He might be good, but he looks more like a hunter. I don't think he plays basketball. Maybe I'm wrong though, but Cuomo, I'll beat Cuomo. I would love to play Chris Cuomo in basketball or Andrew Cuomo, but Andrew Cuomo would probably come after me if I beat him or something. He seems like a power hungry guy, but anyway. How tall am I? 6'3". Before I hurt my foot, I'm not making an excuse, but if you guys don't know, I stepped on a spike at a parking garage and it went through my foot. Before that, I could dunk. I can dunk a basketball. Now it's been a while. I haven't done it since I stepped on that incident. I'm fine now. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I mean, I go loco on the court. Portnoy, it would be a good match. Kushner probably balls like Prince. Game. Kushner. He's like, for game, blouses. Game, Kushner. I'm like, dude, Kushner's got a crazy 3-point. All right, that's enough. I don't know. Someone said Junior would gut you. Nah, yeah. Don Jr. seems like a nice guy. I mean, he's got an attitude, but it's a good attitude. Like, you got to have an attitude a little bit. I just don't know if he plays basketball. I would assume me and Don Jr. would get along quite. I think we'd be friends. Jordan Peterson, yeah, he's not coming close. Someone said the spike hurt me when you talked about it. Can you dunk on Q? No, I can't beat Q because he doesn't exist. It's an anonymous letter. But yeah, the spike thing was very painful. That was like the worst thing. I mean, sure things could be worse, but that was pretty bad. All right, I'm gonna take off, guys. But once again, if you watch other influencers, tell them Anomaly says he wants to play one-on-one, even though if I don't even know who it is. I would love to do that, and I think it would be fun. But God bless you guys. God bless Brian Stelter. I would dunk on Brian Stelter just for the show. But appreciate you. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. If all goes well, I'll have a video out in the morning. It's a very interesting one. That's what it is. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you like this video. And if you don't do anything, go to t.me/dreamrarechat or in what's it called? Telegram, Dream Rare Chat. I'm over 20,000 people there, and I love it because one, I could give you a heads up when I'm live, but also it's like a quick shot because like the algorithms on social media get a little sketchy. On Telegram, it's just like, hey, new video in the morning, and that's pretty much all I do. Just updates on my new videos and maybe occasionally like something else, but I try to be really not annoying because I don't like getting texts the same way I don't like emails. So stayintouchwithme.com is my free email list, and t.me/dreamrarechat is the Telegram. Thanks, Monica. Appreciate you. And I'll be back tomorrow with a new video.